Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Planning Traffic. We do this every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. So if anybody's in the cars, boats, trucks, or anything you put gas in, we talk about it here. I got my man, Motormouth Ray. What's up, Ray?
Lewis, yeah, we do it every week, no matter where we are.
Yep. Ray's in a, how you say it, unenclosed, or how you say it?
Undisclosed
Yeah.
location.
Yeah, you're in a
I'm in a
mission.
hotel. I'm in a hotel room in Virginia, is where I'm at.
Yeah.
We'll be rolling through Brian's neighborhood tomorrow.
Yeah, we tried to catch up with Brian, but I couldn't find nowhere to park down there, man. I was in DC and it's
Oh,
terrible, man. We were going to stay at night, in DC, but it was nowhere to park, so I kept on moving, man. I went on to
you
Virginia.
know, I will tell you, we just did 1,600 miles all through North and South Carolina, and I'm on roads, mostly two lane roads or whatever that are just wide open, and there's trucks and buses. There's all sorts of traffic on it, and houses are set way back, and tons of room, and you just see land and acreage, but there's nowhere to pull over. You
Hmm.
can't pull because the roads just kind of roll off. So if you pull over, man, you're rolling over.
Yeah,
So and it's crazy. So much land and so much openness, and you can't pull the frick over. It's
yep.
it's kind of mind boggling. So and you look at it from a safety issue too. If you really had to, if you had a tire issue or something was going on, you know,
You had to
you'd
be
be in
hard.
trouble. I mean, these
Yep.
aren't. I'm not talking about interstate. The interstate you can pull over. This is on roads within the state. Some of them are back road. A little more rural than others. But even I mean, when you get more in the urban areas, yeah, there's because there's pull offs and all. But yeah, when you get out into the urban areas, it's definitely a little harder. You're not.
Yeah, we noticed out west that, like in Arizona, people pull over and set up camp just anywhere. Like just anywhere. It's crazy. Like you'd be riding down the freeway and look over and there's somebody camping.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sounds like Los Angeles. I
Yeah.
was, I was just watching Fox. They were showing some footage of LA. And like, oh man, it got. And the woman who was talking said, she's from LA, and she goes, if you think it's bad, whatever you've heard, it's 10 times worse. They
That's
don't even
terrible.
tell you the truth. And what they were showing me was pretty bad. So
Yeah.
man,
Yeah, we take a lot of stuff for granted, I'll tell you.
I tell you, like down here, like where I was in the South, it's beautiful. It's open. Even like where my daughter is, it's a lot more suburban. So there's more traffic, and you got afternoon and workday traffic and school buses and all of that.
Mm.
Nothing different than from being at home, but it's clean and people are polite and they let you in. And it's that there's
Different
it's like that.
atmosphere.
Yeah, it's like that code of ethics. Everybody is a little more friendly and social like that. But
Yeah.
and when you got into the rural areas too, the same thing. You just see less of them. The funny thing is, I finally got into a Piggly Wiggly. I
Oh yeah.
was never in one before, and I know it's like one of the oldest chains in the South.
Mm.
And I tell you, man, seeing stuff, these things in that are wrapped up called like chicken paws. Like chicken
Yeah.
paw, and all this weird pork and just big gizzards and stuff like that. But okay, I get it. That's regional food, but the women, and we were in there on Sunday, so it was like I guess 10:30, 11. We were at Arby's, not at Arby's, at a Hardee's, and then we went into the Piggly Wiggly next door. So it was after the church hour, and you see people coming in, and old and young, and they're dressed like out of the 60s and 70s. I mean, all
Mm.
the men are like, collared shirts and like Hager slacks, with the stretch belt. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I feel like I went back in time. And the women are wearing these big flowered dresses. And it's like, that's the stuff I saw when I was growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
There was a woman in the Piggly who was young. She was like in her 30s. She had two kids with her. And she was wearing this long dress, like ankle length, but it was kind of like maybe like a silvery base color and it had some different shades of blue in it and some black. And it was just a nice, right out of the 70s. I mean, just right out of the 70s. Like, where are they getting this stuff? Are they really handing the clothes down through the generations? But they were
They
in
might.
Cracker Barrel and they had a row of the flower dresses in Cracker Barrel. So maybe they're buying them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love seeing that culture shock because they're looking at me too, saying like, "Who the hell's this guy?" Like, where's he from? Like, he's wearing denim and like, what's that? Like, where's he from? He's not from here. So how do you find out when you travel? Do you sense the difference in you and the other people?
No, no, I don't, because I guess we look like we're from somewhere else, and people are just naturally kind. We go to restaurants and stuff, and I haven't had any bad experiences really. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had any bad experiences either. In fact, just tonight we were at an Italian restaurant over here that we've been in before, and they were packed. It's graduation day. We're right here by a big college, and it's graduation weekend. So we picked the wrong weekend, but we had to sit at the bar and eat because you couldn't get a table.
Yeah.
And the one girl she wasn't even helping us. She was like cleaning glasses, and she was talking to us, but she lost her voice. And she had done like a 10-hour shift already. She goes, yeah, it happens all the time. So I carry these little little Italian licorice mints. And I keep them with me. I keep them in my eyeglass case. I keep them everywhere because a lot of times I'll be doing a radio show live. And of course, you get on the mic and all of a sudden now you get a pinch in your throat. And you're like, oh man, you can't talk. So I just pop one of them in and let it dissolve. Takes away a sore throat. So I gave her one. And I was thinking, she's not going to be taking a freaking candy from a stranger, right? That's kind of weird. But she did, and she popped it. She was, wow, this is really good. So my wife had a bag full of them. She gave her a handful, said, here, take these. So she goes, where are you from? You're not locals. And I said, no, we're from New York. And so then we started a little dialogue. But yeah, very friendly, very, very nice. And, I haven't seen anything but that, really.
Yeah, us too. Some of my friends and family like, oh man, aren't you scared you go somewhere might be racist? Like,
more so than where I live.
Yeah. I mean, I keep it moving. If they don't want me there, I keep it moving. But it don't bother me because we laugh at people. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. You can always laugh at them until it gets serious, and then it's a different story. Then it's, that's a whole.
It's when you pop the trunk.
Then it's when it's a whole another set of rules, right? Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but we've had great experiences out on the road. From the south to the west, we've been everywhere now.
Right. Yeah,
been really nice. I mean, when we broke down in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys, man, they told me to their place, let me stay in the bus at their lot. And the next morning they came over. It was on a Sunday, man. They got me back on the road.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's there was always that code of the road. It was the highwaymen's kind of agreement, and it's good to see that's still alive.
Yeah. Being here, we started. Me and my wife said the same thing. We started feeling like people just wasn't like people weren't good anymore. There's no more good people. You know what I mean? We started feeling that way. Mm-hmm. But then we started traveling and stuff, and we're meeting so many nice people on the road and other people in school buses and stuff like that. Yeah. And it gave us more faith again. Brought it back because there are some really good people in the world. Yeah. It's just so many idiots that just mess it up for everybody.
It's true. And sometimes it just shows you got to get out of your element and get into a new element and see, what you're missing. Right.
Yep.
I mean, because like where we live, we're in suburban areas, and let's face it, you're in a rut. We're all in a rut. We kind of do the same things, go to the same places, and you kind of take it for granted. But it is what it is. You got to get out of that. Like when I travel, it's the same thing. I'm always talking to people, and they're usually very responsive and receptive. The problem I have, like you may see too, is I'll be talking to people like from the South, and we're not in the deep South. We're just in the Carolinas, and you throw a sentence or two at them, and they're like, you could tell them like thinking about what did he just say?
Yeah, and we're doing the same thing.
And it's not really an accent thing or anything. I don't think it's more of you're throwing too much information at them. It's like we think fast, we talk fast, we act fast, we do everything fast, and and you get the guy like, what? Oh, wait, what? Like,
funny.
All right, hold on, let me back up a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So traveling's been great for us. I can't wait to get back on the road. We got a couple little things to do,
Mhm.
and we're gonna hit it again.
Nice. Nice.
So
Nice.
with my truck, I'm gonna bring that up.
Okay.
The more I get under that truck, the more I see more rust.
Oh, this is okay. This is you're right. Okay.
Uh, Man,
'Cause
I think I'm just gonna pull the motor and tranny out and just junk the
it's
truck, man.
well, what kind of rust are you seeing?
I mean,
Chassis?
whole like
Oh, really?
yeah, the whole like the front fender. I took the what do you call that? That plastic inner fender.
Yeah, the inner fender liner. Yeah.
Yeah, so I took that out. Nothing was holding it. It was just stuck in there because everywhere those little pins were
Yeah.
all rusted. All that is rusted out.
Wow. Yeah.
It, I took it down. I'm looking. I'm like, man, this thing is bad.
Yeah.
I can't. I've never seen a vehicle just rusty like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my buddy bought it brand new that I bought it from, and it just rusted. Just rusted.
Well,
It's crazy.
he got the best years out of it, I guess.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Motor runs good. Tranny's good. The interior is nice.
Right.
The hood's nice, but everything else under it, man, it's it's bad.
I've been seeing a lot of nice stuff down like in the Carolinas, like and older stuff too, like Ford Rangers and old Datsun pickups. These things are like by me, somebody had it stored away for 40, 50 years. Down here, I think they just drive them all the time because they don't have snow, salt,
Yeah,
none of that crap.
yeah. I seen
The
a lot
older
of
stuff,
stuff out in Texas too. That man, I was getting kind of mad. I was like, man, look how clean these trucks are.
older Broncos, and yeah, and I tell you, the South is like FJ Central. Every time I come down here, it's like, yep, there's another one. There's another one. The FJs
Mhm.
are everywhere down here.
All right.
I'm like, man, they all went south. So,
So I'm throwing up in the air if I should maybe try to buy an old school truck and put the motor and stuff in it, or maybe
there's an idea.
yeah, because I won't be using it that much because
Right.
we're towing the Jeep. So when I come
Sure.
home, I'll jump in that and go. But
Yeah. I mean, then it becomes a project vehicle, but it's not that hard to do, really. I mean, it's just a matter of mounts. So
yeah,
it's engine mount, tranny mount, drive shaft may have to be made, the right length,
yeah,
um, and then swapping the ancillary stuff like fans, if you want to do electric fans or whatever. Um, yeah, that could, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. But you got
or
to
if
find out. I say you got to find the other truck for.
yeah, or if I could find another truck like this one, the same truck, but clean.
Yeah, you know what? You got to look out of state, I think, because you'll be in the same boat.
Yeah,
You know.
but the truck looked pretty good on the outside until I got up under it. And then I'm really got to check that.
You know, kind of on another note, but the same topic. That's why people pay for pre-purchase inspections, the PPI stuff that I do, because they want to see. Now, with a classic car, they're not really worried about that as much. But yeah, I mean, you don't know. Like a car could look great on the outside, and the guy never did anything underneath. So they want someone to inspect that and see. Is
Yeah.
it lipstick on a pig? So yeah, it pays to have that looked at. But yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you could always you're going we're going around all the place. Next time you go out west, if you find something, I mean, you'd have to ship it back. But
Yeah, that's what I'm
you know,
thinking.
I mean, I've seen a lot of independent shippers, a lot of guys, hauling stuff left and right, man, all sorts of crap. So
I did see a vehicle out there, and my wife said, "Oh, I'll drive the Jeep back." I was like, "No way, you're having you drive the Jeep back, and I tow the
yeah,
vehicle."
right,
I,
right,
I'd be in trouble all the way home. I know it.
right. Yeah. So I wonder how that works because I know by me where I live, there's certain towns because when I got there's a couple of cars that I got and I picked up one of those U-Haul trailer dollies where you just put the front wheels on it,
hmm
and I was told actually when I got my Fiat, it was in Queens and I had to bring it back to Nassau County, and I go through a lot of different towns. So the girl at the U-Haul asked to see the registration, and I said, "Oh." I said, you don't have the registration on me. Like, why, why are you asking for that? She goes, well, we got to make sure that the vehicle is registered and has plates. I'm like, why? To transport a vehicle? She goes, well, yeah, because you can have two wheels on the ground.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
two wheels on the ground have to be legal. I was like, oh, really? And then I said to her, this girl she was on it. She was smart, but she wasn't that smart. Because then I said to her, you know what? I said, okay, I'll tell you what. I said, I'm not going to move that car today. I'm going to move my other car. I got to move another one. So put down, a 65 Pontiac. She was okay. I said, oh, here's the registration. I did have the car registered and insured. And then she surprised me again. So I don't know what they, and this is going back 20 years. I did this. She was in the database. She goes, oh, you know what? Well, your car won't fit on that trailer dolly. She goes, it's going to be too wide. And I said, oh yeah. I said, no, don't worry about it. I said, I had that problem before. I said, I put skinny tires on the front. I put narrow tires on. I know it'll fit. She's like, really? I said, yeah, if you want me to sign off on it, I'll sign a waiver. We were just bullshitting back and forth, and she goes, well, okay, all right, if you want to sign. So I did. And of course I went and got the Fiat, threw it on there and brought it home. But those couple, I knew the neighborhoods that I had to avoid. Yeah. And I think I had to go through one of them. I think I was able to avoid all but one, and you just kind of sneak through, and we got lucky. But so I don't know if you were going through state to state to state. It's like we talk about, getting permits. I'm looking at these truckers, and thinking, man, you got to get like. I was just watching one of my YouTube channels, and he was talking about that. It's like, wow, either a wide load or Vince was talking about it last week too. Extra weight, you overweight, whatever. Yeah. Like, and I know from watching Shipping Wars that these guys had to get, and you got to get permits for every municipality you're going through, or you're going to get stuck and do it on at the last minute, and you don't want to do that. So right. I realized the trucking world is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, and people don't realize that, man. They want you to move product real cheap, but man, there's a lot of stuff to it. Yeah, the diesel's higher, the brakes cost more, the tires cost more, everything. The insurance costs more.
Yeah,
and people don't add that up.
So, all right, let me ask you this. I know on the road, I've been on the highways and the interstates a lot, and you see tons of road carcass, just tire carcasses. So when those tires, well, first of all, why do they fly apart like that?
Well, they're retreads. Okay. So when your tires wear down, you can take them and have them retreaded.
Right.
Like a shoe, like a boot, get a new sole.
Right.
And a lot of those tires you see are retreads, and they just peel off.
Okay. So obviously, if it's a trailer tire, you got double tires, and you're not really in danger of. But do those guys, will they pull over and are they changing those on the side? Because I never see anybody changing a tire, but I see plenty of. I see plenty of tires. Yeah.
So one time I got a flat, and I pulled over and I did it myself. Well, the first time it happened to me, I called the truck, and it was like $700 for them to come out, and the tire was another $300.
Wow.
So I was like, I'll never do that again. So I started carrying my own spare, and then I bought the spoons. They call them spoons. They're like long bars where you break your the bead down and do it yourself.
Yeah.
So I started doing it myself, man. I couldn't afford that kind of money to be calling a guy.
So how are you able to lift the trailer to get the wheel off?
You can put blocks of wood under one of the tires and drive up on it, and it lifts that up.
I got you. Okay.
Now on the front, you got to use a jack, but the back one you can.
And of course, if it's an inboard tire, of course you got to take the outside one off first. That sucks.
Well, then you got to use a jack if it's the inside tire.
What the hell kind of lug wrench do you use? Oh, that's probably that torque multiplier you were talking about, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Right.
But I had air on my semi, so I had an impact.
Right. Okay.
And I have air on the bus too. I just have to hook up my fittings so I can run a hose off it.
Nice.
So I'll probably do that in the next couple of weeks because I got the big impact. Hold on, I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
Let Brian come in and.
Oh, Brian's it good. Oh, there he is. Hey
Yeah,
Brian.
Most guys aren't changing the tire; they just keep driving.
I
They don't
wondered
even know.
about that.
They don't even know it comes off because I'm going to tell you, I had one come apart on the tool truck, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't even know until I got to the next stop. And
Really?
I
Yeah.
walked. I walked, and then my truck is only 18 feet, so it's
Right.
not like that. But it was the weirdest thing. I got out and I walked around the truck, and I was like, "Where's the tire?" Tire was gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking like some of these trailers with thousands of pounds of weight. If does it get? Yeah, maybe that. Now
That's
that's
a,
That's
that's a
impact,
little.
baby.
That's a little bit overboard there. You better run at least a half-inch hose, Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're running a 3/8 hose, you ain't helping that gun at all.
Oh
That gun
no,
so.
I got the big
that gun
hose.
won't do it.
All right, so Lewis, here we'll divert to tool talk a little. Brian, I think I sent you the video from the Torque Test channel where they tested extensions.
Oh, the extensions, yeah.
So they test everything, and it caught my eye. I'm like extensions. Now I kind of knew this, but I never really ran into a problem with it. And the bottom line is, anytime you use an extension on an impact gun, you don't get the full torque of the impact gun. You
Right.
lose it. But I didn't realize how much.
A
So they
lot.
used just the impact gun on their torque tester, and it had like 790 foot pounds. They put like a 6-inch extension on it, went down to like 400.
Half.
Yeah, yeah. And then they went to like some of the longer. I'm out of the frame. Longer extensions, and it got even worse, and down to like the 300s. So and I did see something that I proved through use where let's say you got a long extension to do like a bell housing bolt, and if the impact gun isn't taking it off, but if you put a long enough ratchet on it, you can break it. I guess 'cause it's a one time, it's not about, and I found that through doing it, but I guess I never put it together. So now I think it was Astro. It's in that video. It might have been Astro, and they came out and they were measuring the extensions, some really really thick extensions. But it did, at the end of the day, it didn't really make it made a difference, but it
Not,
didn't make that much of a difference.
and most like our old stuff was really thick.
Yeah,
Was thick. But the problem was guys complained about when you had to go in someplace tight,
yeah,
it was
Yeah.
too thick, and it couldn't get in, or it just took up too much real estate.
right.
So we went and made it thin, which everybody. It's like I said, it's a give or take, or it's just one of those things where I get guys all the time. You show them a socket, like here's the socket. Goes, oh, I want something thinner, or I don't want something that tall, because they got to get it. They know that they have to get it in a certain spot or a certain
Yeah.
area, but it's amazing how much torque is lost from an extension.
I tell you, when I work on a big block Chevy, if I got to take the heads off, I have an old. I have a couple old sets of Craftsman half-inch drive sockets, and they just kind of neck them down, and that's what you need. It's a 5/8. That's what you need to get between the rocker arms on a
Yeah.
big block Chevy. You need a thinner socket, and I don't use them for really anything else. They're 12-point sockets, and I've been a 6-point guy for 50 years almost, but I use it for that because it fits in. And then when I built my buddy's car, I had to do heads, so we took it all apart, and he took it upon himself to buy a new set of head bolts, and he got me, I think they were Federal Mogul, and the Federal Mogul came out with, instead of a 5/8 head, it was like 9/16,
Oh.
a smaller hex head on the same bolt. So now you could use, the sockets would fit. So I
Right.
thought that was pretty.
Yeah, I always find it interesting, or like I said, because for years, we had flip sockets that had a 3-inch extension that
Yeah.
you use. And it was so funny because I always wondered how come those still worked halfway decent and not have a problem. But every once in a while, like I said, you get one wheel that you couldn't get off, and you had to go find a socket
Right.
instead of using that flip socket. But I had some mid-length. They weren't really short or standard, but they were mid-length and I used a lot of times on our when we worked on some trucks and so forth, because the lug nuts you couldn't get the lug nuts off, or you couldn't get a certain bolt off, because, like I said, when you started getting too long or extension, all that stuff, it
Yeah.
just threw a lot of torque. Of course, 30 years ago, you had the Thunder Gun that was like 600 foot-pounds, and
Right.
that was a lot back then. Today,
Uh-huh.
that's nothing compared to we're running around with 1,700 foot-pounds now.
Right. Funny you mentioned flip sock. I'll tell you a funny story. So I had given my son-in-law. I sent him for Christmas. I went to Harbor Freight and I bought him a Quinn half-inch drive torque wrench.
Uh-huh.
So in case he ever had to take the wheels off, I taught him how to torque the wheels. And then I went to Harbor Freight and they have an expandable extension. I think it goes to I think it ends up going from maybe 12 to 24 inches, the collar long, and it's got a swivel half-inch end on it. I got him one of those. Actually, I brought that with me last time. And then for Christmas, I said, you know what? Damn it, he needs a socket for the lugs. And I know the Toyota is 21, and the Volvo he has is 19. So I went to Harbor Freight, and they have the 2119, and then it's like a 13/16 and 3/4 with the short extension. So I kept the American one because he wouldn't need it. I'll use it as a spare. And I remember sent it down in the box of Christmas presents. So here we are last Saturday, and I'm working on the RAV4, doing the brakes. I said to him, okay, Kev. I said, I got the breaker bar out of the back of the RAV. I'm like, where's the socket? He goes, what? What do you mean? I said, take the wheels off. He goes, oh, well, that's what you use. That's what you sent me. I was like, yeah, I sent you this. I said, but I showed him the square drive end. I'm like, well, how are you going to get this on the lug nut? He goes, oh, well, you got your tool. I have the red Matco 21, right? He goes, I said, well, yeah, I got my tool. I said, but where's the one I sent you? Oh, you sent me one of those. No, I didn't send you one of these. I sent you a black one with an extension. When did you do that? I'm like, at Christmas. And it was probably in a little brown box.
Oh, no.
And he got this look on his face like, ugh. So he's digging through the car. It's not there. He's got some stuff in the shed. That's where he keeps his tools. It's not there. And my daughter says, oh, you probably put it in your toolbox. He's got a couple of no, he can't find it. So I actually went on a Harbor Freight side. I got a picture and I sent it to him. I said, here, this is what you're looking for. He's like, I don't remember ever seeing it. I said, damn, that's the last time I'm getting you a Christmas present.
Damn. Yep.
I said, well, because now you realize if you get stuck and you got to take the tire off, you got to use the lug wrench that came with the jack, which is only so long.
He hasn't learned that when we send him something, you got to look through everything, because we stick everything everywhere,
Right. So I think I'm just going to buy another one and send it down. I don't know, because I don't know. Should I bother? I don't even know. But it was kind of funny because I said to him, look, it's a flip socket. It'll work on the RAV and it'll work on the Volvo. It's got both of the sizes that you need. And he's like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. I'm like, yeah, that's why I got it for you, dummy. So
on our first trip out with the bus, I think we changed the brakes and everything. So I stopped at a truck stop to have them check the lugs, make sure they were tight. And they came out with this big, long bar. And it was a torque thing. And they torqued it down, and it made it real easy for the guy. He didn't, he just pressed down because it was so long. And that's how they did it. I was really impressed with that tool.
Yeah. Do you know what the torque spec is on those lugs?
I can't remember.
It's got to be over 100.
Yeah.
I mean, a Mercedes SUV is 115. My wife's Cruise is 100.
I want to say it was 300.
Yeah.
Does that sound right, Brian?
I don't know. I'll be really honest. I took my truck in one time to a truck center, like one of the very first times I had tires put on. Mm-hmm. And I told the guy, I said, don't crank down on the wheels. Don't crank it down. And he said, why? And I said, well, because I want to be able to get them off if I had to.
Yeah.
And of course, man, he cranked the shit. I don't know what he torqued it to, And the first time I had to do something, I couldn't break it loose. I couldn't get them loose, and I ended up that the gun that you have, the one that you
Mhm.
just showed, I had one guy trade one of those in, and I had sent it out to get it serviced or checked, and the guy said everything was good. He just tweaked around on it, and it was sitting. I didn't know what I was going to do with that, and so I had to break that guy out, crank up the compressor, and luckily I had a half-inch line uh, air hose. I had a half-inch air hose,
Yeah.
uh, and I hooked it all up, and I blew them off. I got them off, and but I put them on with just our half-inch gun, you
I
know,
do.
and I've never had a problem. I do check them. I had. I don't think it was me necessarily, but I did have one loosen up, and it ate the wheel up.
Oh
Mm.
wow.
And I'm glad I caught it. You know, we joke about DOT stuff and doing the walk around and checking before you leave. You know, how many people check their brake lights before they leave? You know, just in
Right.
general life.
Hmm.
Or whatever. And it was so funny. I walked around the truck, and like I said, I was like, man, that's kind of weird having that rust on the wheel. It was like, I wiped it, and I was like, that's weird dust. It was on the rear of the truck, and I was like, why is there like rust dust on the truck, and then I realized, I was like, something ain't right. And like Lewis said, I have a 4x4 block of wood, basically. Maybe it's 3x4 or whatever. But I put that under one of the wheel. If I'm out on the road, I put that under the one wheel, drive up on it, and then it
Yeah.
lifts the outer wheel. So I lift that up, and I was like, "This wheel's loose, man." And I tighten up, but by that time the wheel had became egg shaped or lug nut.
I have a small aluminum Craftsman floor jack in the FJ. My wife got it for me for Christmas one year because when my older daughter was home, she was always getting flats, blowing out tires, and I was doing road repair. So I needed something light because the big snap-on jack I have that I have with me today is just it'll put you in the hospital if you lift it wrong. So, but I put it in the FJ just to have it on the road, and I was smart enough to try it at home. I said, "Wow, I get this thing almost all the way up, and I'm just lifting." So I have a piece of 4x4 also, and that's to put on top of the jack to
Yeah,
extend it.
to make
So
the difference. Yeah,
So I
yeah.
got these lug
Oh
nut
yeah.
indicators,
yeah.
Okay.
but I forgot to put them on. I got my new rims and tires.
All right.
Uh,
So when I the first time I saw them, I thought they were locking devices that would lock one way to the look because I use those. I have devices like that on my header bolts
uh-huh.
that you put them on in the direction of the loosening. It's like safety wiring. So if the
Hmm.
bolt loosens, it'll lock that thing against the head and it won't let the bolt loosen. So what is their purpose?
They're just so you can look at them. So
You're
they're
looking at
all
it,
To see if you loosen.
yeah. If one loosens up, it'll move.
it'll fall down. Usually it'll fall down. The gravity will be.
Hmm.
All the arrows won't be going the same way. One will be down, then the wheel's loose.
Well, they should be all going clockwise, right? And then
Well, but
if
when
it
you have them,
loosens
when you tighten them up, they're all pointing in the same direction. But if one
clockwise,
loosens, the arrow won't be in line. It'll
right,
be
right,
pointing down. So then
yeah,
you know that
it'll follow the lug nut.
yeah.
How do they
Hmm.
stay on the lug? Are they just serrated enough where they're just it's just a
Yeah,
tight enough fit?
they got little grooves in it. Let's see.
Yeah,
See a
yeah,
little.
yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that's good.
But so I bought those, and I went and got new tires and rims on the truck on the bus, and forgot to give them to the guy.
Oh.
Well, you could just pop those on, right? That's
No, you got to put them in between the lug nut.
oh, you
And
got in between the lug and the stud. I got you.
yeah, yep,
Okay, so when the lug loosens, then they just spin. I get it. I
yep.
thought they were moving with the lug. They're moving because the lug isn't trapping it.
Oh no.
Got
Yep.
it. Okay, got it.
So yeah, but it was But like I said, when I egg shaped, I was like, holy crap, you know. I
That
was,
sucks.
yeah, it was. But over time, you know, like I said, I picked up another wheel and lugs. Yeah, got that fixed. But and then I got two spares because I've had one blow. I've had the the inner one on the rear. One of the inner ones blow out, and when it blew, it took the outer one. So it took it took one side out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's their
And
luck, right?
man, I tell you, the luck of the Irish, baby. Man, I tell you, I've had, but you know, when you said that you had all those tire carcasses, man, you got low tire pressure, dude. Those tires will come apart in a heartbeat. You
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
losing air and you don't know, man. Those tires will come apart. You rip them, you cut them on something. Hell, I watched a tractor trailer on a trailer. Guy ran over top of a Volvo in the mixing bowl that you're getting ready to go through, Ray. And he didn't even feel it. He didn't even stop and rip the tire off the truck off the trailer, and he kept going.
Wow.
And so, like I said, you know those things come apart unless it's the front. You don't even sometimes you don't even know. I've had them, like I said, I've had one come apart on the back of the tool truck, and I didn't even know until I got to my next stop.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, we were just talking. My wife was just looking at the phone now, and we're looking at like between six to 7.5 hours to get home from here. We're
Yeah.
going to shoot over. Actually, we're going to shoot over to 66 and do 95. I said, well, what if we take 81? God help me, because I'm right off 81 now, and it was like almost like the same thing. So I don't know what's going on tomorrow. Maybe it's
I hate that's the same like you were saying, Ray. You know, when we used to go down to Florida or whatever, and you know, you leave, we drive straight through, never stop, no problem. You know, but coming home and you hit that stretch because you know, like I said, we all do it. The kids used to do it because we'd hit Virginia and we're saying, oh, we're almost home. And we still had 4 hours, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
you know, 3 hours. And that's the worst because you get all that congestion,
just
traffic,
the last leg.
man,
I-
it is just a killer of the ride.
And just think of it. I got Pennsylvania is easy. I got New Jersey, and then I got Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and then I got Long Island. Then I'm home free. But yeah, it's that's a grind, man. And it gets so. Like I said, I drove over 1,700 miles already down here, and I'm so everything's been free and clear. 70 miles an hour, cruise control, just sitting back, like boring almost. You kind of get used to that, and it's to have to know you're going back into the. I don't know how people who go to any state where there's traffic. I can't imagine how they feel when they get there the first time. They must be like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Because I mean, everybody's doing crazy shit. You know how everybody drives.
Yeah.
I got caught in a traffic jam just before the George Washington Bridge for 10 hours.
I hate the GW Bridge.
I was there for 10 hours. We could see the bridge.
Oh.
This is like right after 9/11. And so they were doing the checks,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it was on a Sunday. So I thought, oh man, we'll float through a Sunday. But it was people coming back from the beach and New Jersey and stuff. We were there for 11 hours.
It was a few trips ago, and we came up 95, went through Jersey, and the GPS was going to take us. I saw the road. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not taking me over the Goethals and the Verrazano. It means it's not taking me on the belt. It means it's taking me to the GW Bridge. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't want to go to the GW Bridge. But I found that when you're using Waze, they're usually right. And if you follow them, so I did. I said, all right, I'll do it. And man, I said, fuck that. You know what? Even if I got to sit in traffic on the belt, I'm going that way. Because that's the southern route of the island. That's right where I live. I mean, I can get through that all, but I will. The GW Bridge is just like, man, it's like kryptonite to me. Fuck that.
We would have been there longer, but I had Easy Pass because I got in the left lane and was able to float through a little bit. I would have been there another hour, I bet.
Well, that's what you said. After 9/11, there were bridges and tunnels. I mean, you get arrested if you took a picture on a bridge or a tunnel,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was no joke, man. That was some serious stuff. So yeah,
But I
that's the worst.
hate, like you said, I hate when you get that uh, Google, your Google map or whatever, they give you the directions and they tell you this is the fastest way. And when you don't want to go that way, I run into the same thing here,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go that way, but they're usually right.
Yeah. Well, I'll take the hit to not do the GW. It's
Yeah.
I have the Garmin truck GPS, so you can set your limits of height and weight.
oh yeah.
That's what I should really have that. Well, that's sometimes I get myself in trouble because
Yeah.
I'll be in the tool truck and I'll Google some, if I need it, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I can be on this road. And I hate when I take that turn and see that
Bridge.
underpass, the bridge, or you're not supposed to be here, and I'm like, oh God, man, just maybe if I just whistle along, like not paying attention, and nobody will see me.
Well, how tall is the truck, Brian? How tall is the tool truck?
Oh, it's I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's the 11.3 or whatever it is. I mean, standard box height.
Okay.
But I mean, we have more roads that are, you know, um, nothing over 10,000.
Oh yeah, yeah.
On,
Yeah, GB. Yeah, Goose. Well,
and,
yeah. By me on Long Island, you'd be stuck under the bridge. A lot of them are like 10 foot or 9, 8.
Yeah,
And
we have
guy,
a few bridges that are, especially the ones that have the arches in it. Like if you're not in the center lane,
right. And we get guys all the time. Yeah.
I almost got jammed up on that expressway. I was coming from Unique Autosports, and I had a Ford pickup with an enclosed trailer. So I jump on, and people are waving at me like, "You can't be here!"
Yeah, no,
and I started seeing the low, what do you call them, overpass. I was like, "Oh man, I ain't out here."
That's right. Yeah, you got to take on Long Island. You got to take the Long Island Expressway, which is on the northern part of the island, and that'll take you out. It'll take you all the way out to the end of the island. But there is one highway that you can take down to the South Shore, like where I'm at, and then you run on Sunrise Highway, which doesn't have any overpasses. Mm-hmm. And that's just what you got to do.
When I run away and bring the tool truck up your way, I'm gonna have to make sure that I know which way to go.
I'll let you know. Don't worry. I'll walk you through it. Don't worry. I'll walk you through.
Yeah, those overpasses was low, boy. If I had my see, I was in an enclosed trailer. If I had my semi, I'd have been really messed up.
Yeah. I just saw something on the news. We were watching. Oh, I know what it was. I was in North Carolina. I was watching the news from New York, and it was a guy in New Jersey, in fact, I think in Clifton, and he was an independent trucker. So he was hauling a box, and I think he was hauling it was coiled up scrap metal, scrap copper, and he was within vehicle with the weight limit and all, no problem. But he's on the road. All of a sudden, the trailer just collapsed. Yeah. And it major traffic jam for hours. It was overnight. So the one reporter was interviewing him and says, so listen, what happened? He says, trailer collapsed. And they said, wow, really? Does that happen often? He goes, I've seen it before. He goes, I've seen it a few times. He says, and they said, well, what causes that? And he says, fatigue. And they're like, so the trailer's fatigued? He's like, yeah. And they're like, well, how come you didn't do anything about that? He goes, it's not my trailer. I'm doing a job. I'm just hauling it. So I don't know. I wonder if he would have done a really good visual inspection, if he could have picked something up, because I guess it's rust would have fatigued it, right?
I don't know. We had a tractor trailer here. We had a tractor. Well, it was actually, I expect that, but it was a dump truck, and he was going down over here, right over by the house, and the truck split in half.
Oh wow!
And the front, like I said, that just it split in half, and the picture was kind of funny because you had the front of the truck and then the back, and then of course it was just like you said, bowed down and so forth. But we had last week. Was it last week? I think we had a scrap metal truck. He was taking the turn and he lost the trailer and everything. on the overpass here, and that shut down. I mean, that was a disaster for traffic down here because it took all 3 lanes up with
Yeah.
scrap metal all over the place.
What road was
Some
that on?
That was on Connecticut and 495 or whatever.
So, Lewis,
some
what happened? Well,
some states will fine you if you break down and cause a traffic jam and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll
I was just going
jam
to
you up.
ask you, to walk us through what happens. Say you're independent, and you pull in a box, and that's what happens. It collapses. And I mean, what are the steps? Does the driver get fined, and then it goes back to the company that he was hauling for, or does the company he's hauling for get fined? How does that work out?
Yeah, the driver usually gets the ticket, but then the company gets the fine.
It depends because at the end of the day, as I was explained, you are
And,
responsible.
yeah,
It doesn't matter, dude.
yeah.
You are responsible, and at the end of the day, you knew better. And
So
that's the problem with it.
so a lot of my stories come back to Long Island that where I was picking up
Yeah.
cars. He wanted me to haul some cars to Vegas, and it was way overweight.
Ooh.
And I was like, man, I can't take it. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
just go around the scales. I was like, no, listen, I can't afford to get jammed up. You know what I mean? I'm not
Yeah.
making that kind of money where I can afford that. So
Right,
I
right.
had to take one vehicle off. He wasn't happy with it, but you're not getting a ticket.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And the thing is, I had to take it. There's no truck stops in New York. So I had to go all the way over to New Jersey on 80 to weigh it.
Molly
Once I get
Pitcher.
there, yeah, once I get there, I weighed it. I was like, I called him, like, hey, you got to send somebody to come get it. And luckily, the other truck was coming, and he grabbed the other car.
Oh, we had space. Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only you can't. Like I said, it's you like to play dumb or you like to kind of, but at the end of the day,
Can't
you're
claim ignorance.
you're nailed.
And
Yeah,
DOT is a whole different breed. If they catch you, you're definitely getting a ticket.
Yeah.
They'll shut you down. They'll have you parked.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that was like the one guy that I had no ceiling lights on the box. I had regular lights, but I had no ceiling lights, and the guy, pulls me over. And of course, I will admit, I was like, it was still dusk. It was still daylight. It wasn't getting dark yet. Pulls me over and he says, hey, you got no running lights. And of course, he made him, he said, you got no ceiling lights. And I said, okay, well, I'll take care of it this weekend. And he's like, no. And he goes, I didn't know what this was. And I said, excuse me? I said, you didn't know this was a fucking box truck?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you didn't have your lights. And I said, come on, dude. You're telling me you didn't know what the fuck this was? I said, it's still daylight.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you need to have your ceiling lights. And I said, okay, well, I'll fix them this week. He goes, no, you got to fix them now. I'm out on, I'm like, look, dude. I said, I'm not leaving the truck here. And I said, he goes, well, you can't move. He goes, I'm shutting you down. And I was like, over ceiling lights? I said, I got all my other lights, dude. And so it was tick for tack, man. It was just back and forth. And I was really starting to, of course, the wife's on the phone. She's like, man, just keep your mouth shut. Just go along, So I had told him, we went back around and around, and I just finally told him. Then, he kept me there until it's dark. Now it's dark.
Now you're in violation.
Now, and I was like, I said, you're a real asshole, dude. I said, now it's dark. And I said, he goes, you move this truck, I'm calling the tow truck. I'm impounding. I said, you better call. And I started the truck up, and he gave me the ticket, and I drove. But again, like I said, those guys, It's just the whole.
Different breed.
What did that ticket cost you? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I can't remember. It wasn't. It wasn't the. It was just the work order and the ticket.
Uh-huh.
But the whole thing of it is just that we started out at 5:30 in the evening, and he held me until 7 when it was dark. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? And
Right.
that the only thing that really pissed me off is when he said he couldn't tell what it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of the ceiling lights. And again, like I said, those guys, and it's all fine. I mean, like I said, trust me, I'm all for it. There's bad trucks on the road. There's stuff that that isn't safe.
Yeah.
But when they just beat the
Nitpick.
hell out of you,
Yeah.
and it's something. And meanwhile, when this whole thing's going on, you got the car that drives by that has drag and a fender. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Or the pallet guy that's got a half-ton pickup truck and has pallets stacked,
Yeah.
feet past the roof. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And you're looking at me because I have a light out, and
yeah.
you got these yo-yos driving all over the place. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
That used to just drive. I mean, that would drive me. I mean, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just saw earlier. I got another email from Milwaukee with their new stuff. Have you seen any of those new ratchets yet?
I've
With
sold a
the,
couple of them.
with the new head, I'm still curious if they told me it wouldn't interchange, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
haven't taken one apart. I'll tell you, Ray, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see here. Well, over the Mother's Day, mom was in the hospital again for
Oh
AFib.
wow.
And
Mm.
like I said, it's just been nonstop, chaotic with that. But I've got one. I think I have one new one left. I keep saying every time I get it out, I keep saying I want to look at that, pop the head and see. Like you said, I
Yeah.
just haven't had time.
The other thing is I was using my ratchet, the Milwaukee ratchet, when I did the brakes, just to run the pin bolts out. And I tell you that recess flipper is such a pain in the ass, because I always forget to flip it, and then
Uh-huh.
it's like, damn. And I know they make a piece that can go over it to make like an external flip. Have you seen those?
Not no.
I forget one of the guys I watched showed it a while ago. It might have been Clay because he was really doing a lot of the Milwaukee stuff about a year ago. It might have been him, but yeah, that reverse mechanism is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
It's nutty, but I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's just been crazy over the
Yeah,
last couple.
well, especially that. Yeah, yeah. If your mom is back in the hospital, how long did they keep her?
It was a day, 2 days.
Okay,
It was a day and a half or whatever. I mean,
they
like I
just
said, it's just it was one day over in one night. I guess it was
yeah,
and like I said, she actually like I said, I don't play around anymore. Uh, she when she calls me and she says, "Well, let me see how I doubled up on my medicine. Let me see how I feel." And I said, "Just grab, get your bag
get your
together."
bag.
And
I'm coming over.
if I was actually, it was actually, I was done for the day on Friday, and I had come across from Kensington. I came over, had to drop some stuff off in Silver Spring and down in White Oak. So I kind of took the long way home. And of course, when I saw the phone, when I saw that was my mom on the phone, I was like, shit. Because I was with traffic, I was like about an hour away from the house, hour and a half. And I had to call the wife and tell her to go pick her up and take her to the hospital. And I'd just meet her up there.
Wow.
Because my mom was like, "Oh, I'll just wait for you," and I'm like, "No, we're not playing this game
No,
Yeah.
because
you can't.
just go get in there." And like I said, luckily, well, of course, being Friday night or Friday before then, because it gets to be Friday night, it's just Grand Central. All the shit that happens on the week.
Oh
Starting
yeah,
the
yeah.
weekend, and she's not critical. So we would sit there for 3.5, 4 hours
Right, you're right.
before they get her in.
So what did you guys do for Mother's Day?
We went over to Molly's house and Nick's. We went over there. We had a dinner and just went over there. Took my mom. My mom was released, so my mom take her out
Good.
so she could see her house and
Nice,
so
nice.
forth. So she hadn't been, so we went and did that, and that was a real nice time. Had all the moms and everything over, and
Right.
so it was good.
What did you do, Lewis? What was your
We, we went over to my son's house. Took my mom over there. It
nice?
was good day. Beautiful day too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, we actually were able to spend. We stopped over to see my daughter. It was her first Mother's Day, so we got to see her in early part of the day, and then she wanted to do stuff with her husband and stuff. So I said, "Good, you do what you got to do. We're on our own." And I'm like, "Okay, where are we going to go to eat tonight?" So one of our favorite places down there is called Whiskey Warehouse, and it's a bar and grill, and they got great food and they got great drinks. So I said, man, and it's in Uptown. It's in a part of Charlotte, like in the city. So we drive in there, and as soon as I get to the side street, there's just cars lining the street. I'm like, oh man, we're never going to get in there because the place gets busy. I pull into the parking lot. I'm like, damn, there's spots right in the front. What the hell happened? And then they have a little lot in the back. I said, I'm going to go into the back. And there were spots in the back. I was like, what's going on? They closed? We go in. There was one table of four sitting there. And then we sat down. I'm like, holy shit. They left. It was just us. There were people up on the rooftop. So we're talking with the server. Another young couple came in with a kid, sat behind us, but then they got up and went up to the rooftop. So the server was like, well, thank you for being my only real customers for the day because there's nobody. I said, what do we do? Like hit the lottery? She goes, well, it's Mother's Day. I'm like, I know, but I figured, like with the younger crowd. So yeah, we had it was actually great. We everything else around there was just packed to the gills. So we hit it. We got lucky.
that's
But,
good.
yeah, it was good. So plus they like it when we roll in there because we always get good service. We gave like a 25% tip. So they like the New Yorkers when they come down. We treat them right.
Yeah,
So
So
yeah, we did.
you still looking for a house down there, Ray?
yeah, in fact, that's a lot of the driving we did was look at the properties. And the problem was some of these houses were on those 2-lane roads. And all right, you're doing like, 40, 45, there may be somebody behind you. There's nowhere to pull off. And like, I'm not pulling up into the guy's property. I don't know if the house is vacant, if there's someone there, but sometimes the house is set back off the road about 125 feet. So you see in the front of a beautiful house, but that's about all. And you're seeing it like there's the house. You're seeing it at 45 miles an hour. You can't stop. So because we weren't doing it with the real estate, we were just going by ourselves. But
Yeah.
and a lot of the real nice ones. We saw one in Clover, South Carolina. Man, this guy had a truck garage. It was one of those 3-car wide garage, but I think it was like he said it was like, oh, I forget how many square feet it was, 1,500 square feet. Had any more? It was like 2 side garages and a center one, and the center one was taller. All had truck doors. The middle one, he said, you can bring your RV and trailer and tow vehicle in to the garage. That's how deep it is. And the other ones, he had a lift on one side. I mean, it was just huge. And it was already set up with a 50 amp service. He had a bathroom with a shower in there. I was like, oh, just give me my recliner and I'm done. But it was kind of rural. It was in a part of town. It's like 20 miles to really the town.
Yeah, to do anything.
And it's like, yeah, it's a little more rural than we're looking for, unfortunately, because the house was real nice too. But I don't know. So yeah, we've been looking. I think really what we got to do, it's I hate to say it, but and I don't even have to, I really need to sell my house, move
That's
down
what I was
there.
going to say.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
I
going
need I need to move down there and find like a rental, but I don't know where I'm going to put all the stuff and all. I got to put everything somewhere, and then just have that money in the bank, be ready to just move, to
Yeah.
jump at a moment's notice.
You can leave the SS here with me, and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I might have to. I might have to. I know.
yeah, you just got to tell. Maybe I'll have to call Jen and tell her to throw you guys out, and that way you just have to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
she's the wild card. We don't know what's going to happen with her. But I tell you now, I'm waiting to see when I get back. I left the Camry. I leave it at the shop. They have a storage lot, so they always leave the car in the storage lot for me. And because the rental company I use is just 2 blocks away, so I left it. I left it with them with some money, and I said, "Listen, I need 2 rear tires put on." I said, and one of the guys there does a lot of detailing. I said, "I want the car ceramic coated." We were talking about that a few weeks
yeah,
ago. So I really don't have a doubt that the tires are going to get put on. I don't know what my chances are of having of the ceramic coat being done, but I'm hoping that he did it. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
you know.
That's some amazing stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't want to do the FJ. I want to have to do the FJ. Really, for the cars that are outside more, those are the ones that benefit more. Like my Pontiac, I won't even bother with because the car's in the garage. It doesn't really see. It's not going to see the harsh weather.
Yeah.
Just keep some good wax on it, and that's it. But yeah, the drivers. So yeah, Brian, that was the other thing. I sent you another video that pertains right to you. It was on one of the gun channels I watched, one of the 2A channels,
Yeah.
talking about Montgomery County, and I'm like, whoa, Montgomery County! Now you got my attention. And they wanted to. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it or not, but you should. They wanted to restrict handgun carry on the interstates. On the highways, they want to restrict you. Like, what? So they're fighting that when they're fighting that hard.
Dude, it is so. I just. Like I said, it's absolutely. I don't even have words for it anymore.
I know. What do you say?
It's just absolutely amazing. I just can't believe how crazy it is.
Yeah, really is.
Yeah.
And how and instead of fixing anything, it's just complicated. I mean, it just gets more compounded and
Oh yeah.
and dilute. I don't even know the delusional or dilute it to the point where it doesn't even make sense anymore.
Well,
You can't even argue the point anymore
No.
because it just doesn't make sense.
But you know what? It's just like the bigger political arena. The groups, all the pro 2A groups, keep coming back and keep, throwing it in their faces, just like what you see happening on the country stage, on the biggest stage, and they have to, because otherwise they got to be kept in check. And I just saw another video, one of the other channels. I watch about there's 4 2A channels I watch every day, YouTube channels, and one or two of them are done by 2 of them are done by lawyers. Others are done. One of them is a GOA, and the other is I forget what the other one is. It's just another general 2A site. And they showed this one senator, I forget where he was from, but he was up in front of Congress, and he went through this laundry list of stuff that was put in place by Biden and his administration. And he said, we need to repeal all of this. And he said, President Trump has already said, when this comes to his desk, he will sign it. But this has to stop. And that was all about the pistol braces. It was about suppressors and all that stuff. Biden put this, it was right before he went out of office. He put a huge package through with about 10 big restrictions. So they're looking to now reverse that, which is good. Mm. But it's always that tug of war, and it's just like what you see on the big stage. One side gets something, the other side pulls back, gets something else.
But like I said, it's just everything in general. It's just so crazy. And you take some of the most simplest things that you used to do, and it just turns into 2 extra hours of bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try to get Flying Sparks Emily on because they were down last week doing the
Yeah, I was upset. Well, not upset. I shouldn't say it like that. But it's been a while since I had been to the Ocean City show down in Ocean City, and that's where they were when they were here in town or in DC fighting. That they also did the Ocean City show
Nice.
on the beach and so forth. And I would have loved to gone down to see.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get Kevin Ostie on too because he was there. So I'm gonna give him a call this week and try to get him back on to see what they talked about.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, good,
crazy.
good.
Like I said, it's crazy with that stuff, and then, like you said, um, it's gotten ridiculous on the automotive. I would have never imagined that the automotive world getting this crazy. And
And there's more companies now who I heard were going out,
yeah,
and probably because they were under the umbrella. I was thinking like that whole thing. What was it A1 or whatever that group
A1,
was?
Autolite, Cordone,
Right, Cardinal.
all the
But I'm wondering if somebody might step in and just buy them out, and then keep it going, because I mean, otherwise we're going to be in a world of hurt for parts.
yeah. It's amazing. Uh, and the crazy thing about it was, I was talking a couple, shop owners and so forth, and like I said, getting these parts in, and even dealer parts don't even fit right. I mean, or not even the quality of it, but you're like fabricating new parts. It's not even like, when you have a hot rod stuff
Yeah,
and you have that umbrella or that okay, well, we're going to have to tweak here, or we're going to have to do this or whatever. But
right.
man, when you're taking brand new parts and you can't find brake pads to fit or hardware to fit. I was in the shop today and they had to wait for this master cylinder for BMW, and it didn't even fit it.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, you spend all this money and you can't get the part, you can't get the right part, you can't find the part. I don't know.
What was
I
I going
guess
to
we need to
say?
buy
Oh,
horse and
so
buggy.
last week I got I was thinking about that, and I got an email from Rock Auto. So they send you all the closeout stuff. So I said, good. I bring up the Camry. I said, I'm going to buy calipers. I'm going to buy wheel cylinders, hoses. I'm going to stock up, right? Yeah, they had like the right rear wheel cylinder, and they had like the left rear hose. It's like, I
Right.
need, what am I like? Oh man! And I know if I start buying like oddball stuff like that, I'm never going to remember what I bought. I'll be buying like three. I'll have three right hand sides and no lefts.
Yep.
So, dude, I just put it up as just give me both of them, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's I did the same thing. I can't remember if it was for Emma's car. I can't remember, but you buy some stuff and you get it, and it's like, dude, it's like how can you only have one but not the other? Again, you're you
Yeah.
know you're you kind of you gotta have a list and double check to
Yeah.
see it. It's I
You know,
don't
I
know.
had
It's just crazy.
when I got the FJ, the rear calipers were frozen; they weren't working. So I got new ones. But I'd like to get a set of fronts because they're six piston calipers on that thing on the
Wow.
front, and they're working. They're fine. But I said, boy, that'd be nice. Otherwise, I better be able to get rebuild kits because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
they could be.
you better start looking now for the rebuild kits,
Yeah, no, I know.
because again, it's funny because stuff that has sat around forever or that you think you never never be, oh, I should be able to get that. And now
And speaking of Toyota, I know that it's we talk about it on Thursday night. It's out of it's a week away already. But if you ever remember when you need your Toyota guys, I'm still looking for an FSM. I'd like to get one for the Camry, and they go like $140 on eBay. I'm like, damn, it's a 31-year-old car. It's like manual isn't gold, but I mean, I have one for the FJ on a DVD. I'd rather have a paper one for that too.
Yeah.
So just in the back of your head, if you ever see, if they're ever throwing out boxes of manuals because they're too old,
I know. I hope to always come across days like that because when they I've been at a few places when they clean out, man, they start throwing stuff away, dude.
Joe did that. My old co-host Joe at Standard Motors. I went over his house. He had these big boxes of carburetor kits, and I said, Joe, what's this? He goes, yeah, they cleaned out the carburetor room. Everything just went in the dumpster. He goes, so I went in the dumpster. I was like, hell yeah. So I said, now he was in no condition to use them. I said, look, if you ever want to offload those, you know who to call. Well, it ends up, it was like a couple of years later, I was over there again and they were gone. I'm like, where'd the carburetor kits go? His wife got rid of them. Like she was cleaning out the garage. Like, no, should have put my number on. I should put my phone number on the side of the box. Call Ray. He'll be right over.
Yeah.
But
speaking of carburetors,
yeah,
I think I might send my carbs from my Yamaha to you.
That'd be different.
Yeah, it's four combined.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Now with that, the 4 carburetors, the linkage is really the real critical part.
Mm-hmm.
And some carburetors you can just take apart, but leave them on the rack and throw them in the cleaner. Sometimes you have to split them, and then you got to do the adjustment. So we'd have to see if we can find some data on that, because it may have to be some fine adjusting doing.
So the carburetor you did for me, the Weber that I was going to put on there, I'm having a hard time with the manifold. I got it 3D printed, but I got to get it coated or something so it won't heat up. And I'm just frustrated. I mean,
what do you mean? You think the plastic won't be the integrity will be lost? What do you think?
So I'm hearing both things. I'm hearing that the plastic might melt. Some people saying no, it'll be fine. I don't know. My luck can burn up and catch me on fire.
I mean, intake manifold temperature isn't the same as cylinder temperature because it's external.
Right, and there's a rubber boot in between the motor and that piece
right.
too. Right.
Yeah, it could be worth trying it. Otherwise, it'd be nice if you got it made out of aluminum. They do that. I think they 3D print with like a metal halide.
Yeah, but it's the cost.
Yeah. Well, you got to find a guy who's got one.
Yeah, you got or I think they have. I can't remember what I was watching. But it was fairly interesting. The Finale tops, like on our toolboxes.
Yeah.
The Finale, the black Finale tops, which are like indestructible. But a guy was making his carburetor spacers for that.
Yeah.
Out of that top.
Perfect.
Because of temperature, and he had. Can't remember why he ended up doing it, but that was one of the things.
No, it's very heat resistant. They've been using that in heat applications for 100 years.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very nice. How many hours did it take to print that?
I want to say 6.
Wow.
So the guy programmed it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Put it on.
Yeah. All right. So on those legs, the runners, that's where the boots go.
Yeah. So
that isolates it, and you just have to you got to make a bracket, I guess, or something to stabilize the manifold, right? So it doesn't flop around.
No, it actually sits down in those boots.
Oh, okay.
And before the carburetor just sat on the boots,
Yeah.
but now this would sit there, and then the new Weber is fit on this.
I would try it. You know,
I would
it's
try it.
the boot is insulating it, yeah, and that's an insulating material too. So
Yeah,
yeah, I would just give it a shot. Yeah, I would try it first.
yeah,
Because worst case scenario, if something happened, you still have the program. I mean, you can still make another one.
yeah,
I
Well,
mean,
what he's worried about isn't the program. He's worried about the fire ensuing between his legs as
oh,
he's riding down the highway. That's the problem.
So there's a
that's
company. There's a company that I can have them printed in metal or some kind of metal.
We were just saying aluminum, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to see how much that costs. It all
Yeah.
depends on that.
I mean, the only
well.
other way to
You could always just try. I mean, see how if it works right before you go that extra
yeah.
expense.
I mean, there's two other ways of doing it. Obviously, a guy, since they can 3D print with metal, a guy could actually CNC it like they do a wheel, which would, again, that's probably expensive. Or you could do it in components, make it out like sheet metal and make the runners and weld them to the plenum and then have your base,
Right.
TIG weld it all up. That would probably be cheaper than all of them. Because I bet
Yeah.
you Tyler could probably do that.
So that's what we started out doing is welding it up, but you got to be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So what I did is I took my carburetor to my buddy that they own a fabricating shop, not a fabricating shop. They do I don't know what they do, but they do stuff with this stuff. And so he actually did it. He scanned it, so it's 100% on the money. So it fits right down. When we were doing it, trying to weld it, if one's off,
They're
throws you
all
off. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try it. I got pieces sitting out. I got my garage clean where I can work on it. Check it out.
Oh, nice. There she is.
So
oh yeah.
she's dirty, but
Yeah. Nice.
so I put the trunk on, and then I'm gonna make the backrest.
Right.
And I'm gonna redo the seat. So I'm gonna redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's
Nice.
about to get,
Like I said, the only thing with that intake that you got, one thing that I would really only make sure you're not running any ethanol through it. Because they're supposed to raise ethanol. They're trying to ban that right now, but at June here, it's supposed to get to 15%.
I actually saw a pump. I forgot if I was in North or South Carolina, but I've been seeing non-ethanol. Actually, yeah, I just saw it today, but I did see a pump that had 15% ethanol.
Yeah, they're starting. I just read something that they're pushing to 15, and it was actually really kind of interesting because this is like one of the first times they were actually talking about older cars and lawn equipment and stuff that you're not supposed to run any ethanol.
Yeah.
And for years they always said it wasn't a big deal, but like I said, that 15, it was bad enough at 10, but 15 is going to be a real problem.
Oh yeah. I saw a guy on YouTube who was showing how you can separate the ethanol out of the gas.
Oh yeah.
You got he uses a clear container and it will separate.
Yeah.
So and they just pour the ethanol would sink to the bottom, the gas floats, and you just pour off the gas. But that's why you need a clear jug because you got to be able to see it.
Yeah.
But,
It's
it's
like I said, because that's the only thing that people are really starting to have. It's just like you said, Lewis, when you put those gas lines on the Cadillac. Remember you put the gas lines on and you're like, dude, these are brand new. And 6 months later, it ate them out. And that's the ethanol. I had a guy, he looked at me like I had two heads, but he had put a car. They were doing a 65 Thunderbird in the shop, and they put a carburetor, a Holly. It's basically like a 4100. It was a but it was a Holly replacement. And he was talking about, it was a couple months ago, and he was saying, man, saying, it's not running right, blah, blah. And I said, dude, it's the ethanol. I said, whatever you're doing to the carburetor, you're wasting your time. You cannot run ethanol through this stuff.
Been seeing this. I don't know. I still don't know why this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it won't focus, but yeah, that's at a. This is at right on the side at Circle K.
Oh yeah, non-ethanol. Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. Today I did something I've been wanting to do for a long time. Just outside of here, we went to a Buc-ee's.
Oh yeah.
My wife we went in there. We got a little shopping cart. Man, we spent $200 on just we spent $200. They have everything but a freaking coffee mug. They do not have. I didn't see Buc-ee's coffee mugs.
Yeah. So, probably.
Did you you try to pull pork?
We were gonna actually get our dinner there. We were, but we were. So let's go check into the hotel. And my wife there's an Italian place here that we like, because if we can get in there, we'll go over there. And we did. So we didn't have the pulled pork, but I was watching them chop it up. Like, man, that looks freaking good. It was awesome. Yeah,
you can get it to go. They make
I know, yeah, right on the hot trays. I know that place is crazy. It's the first time I've been in one, and non-ethanol gas was. I paid $3.99, and diesel was I took a picture of it. What was the diesel? I thought of you, Brian. Let's see. Diesel was $4.99.
Wow.
Yeah, I paid $3.99 for regular, which was good. Now it was kind of funny because right here at this Buc-ee's, across the street, and they're doing a lot of development. I don't know what they're doing, but across the street is a 7-Eleven gas station and a Shell, and the 7-Eleven matched Buc-ee's price at $3.99, but the Shell was $3.96. Because I said, man, you get these two guys across the street from this giant. I bet you when they started building Buc-ee's, those guys like, oh shit, we should just move the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That's what happened inside the Beltway here. I had 3 gas stations. This is even crazier on that gap, but they had I had 3 gas stations that I used to go to, and the one gas station. Actually, oddly enough, I worked there when I was a kid at this gas station, but they had sold, and it became or it was bought, and it was they rebuilt it, and it's a Royal Farm.
Oh yeah,
and that's like a Wawa. It's a little bit bigger than a 7-Eleven type thing.
Yeah.
And when they said that was coming in, the guy across the street, he put the place up for sale. He said, dude, they're going to kill me. I said, I won't be able to compete with them on gas.
Yeah.
And so this guy bought the place, not really knowing what was going on. Then when he realized that it was going to be, and the other guy, he ended up, he still sells gas, but he closed his shop, the bay part up.
It was funny because where we are, we're right by what the hell is it? JMU, James Madison University, which is huge. Yeah. So a couple of years ago,
I saw a Kiss there.
I think they're still there. They're still playing. But a couple of years ago, we were just driving, and we asked the guy, the clerk, where's a good place to eat, and he sent us down this, a major road, not down 81. And, the place wasn't open. We didn't see it. So I'm just driving and meandering. I make a right-hand turn. I go over 81. Now I'm on the other side, passing James Madison's huge. And I remember I was looking for gas. I don't know what the price was at the time. It was a lot less than now. But I happened to find this one little standalone station. It was a white building. I think he had 2 pumps. And I was like, and he was cheaper by like 30 cents a gallon. I'm like, that's where I'm buying my gas. I went in, go inside, just like one little register and real old school mom and pop shop. So today, the same thing. I said, good, we're going to go over to Vito's to eat. I want to find that gas station and see how it compares to Buc-ee's. And if they're around the same price, I'll buy it from that guy. Well, we passed by. Now there's a lot of development in the area since we've been here last. It's only about 2 years. Station's closed. All the pumps were taped up. Building's closed. I'm like, man, the guy had to go out of business. You know,
Yep.
just
It's hard to compete with a gas station that has 300 pumps.
I'm telling you, it's like the Home Depot, man. They're just putting just putting hardware stores out of business.
Yep.
But
Yeah. That's what that like I said, the Royal Farm coming in, and it's got like, it doesn't really have any more pumps than what it did, but it's just like I said, it's the whole marketing or the pricing of it, and
going back to tools, Brian, I thought of you the other day. It was kind of funny because I knew when I was doing the brakes on the RAV, I knew I wanted to adjust the parking brake to the drum, and I just did the Camry, a couple of weeks ago, and it's only a small, not maybe like a half-inch hole, so you can't get a wide brake spoon in there. So you're almost better off using a screwdriver. I hate to say it, but it's another great use for a screwdriver. But so when I was putting tools together at home, I'm going through my box, and I brought my couple of brake spoons from the shop. But I'm going through my brother's box, and I was like, wow, look at this. He's got these two really. One of them is like, oh, I don't know, it's about 9-10 inches long. It's a snap-on tool, but it's only about a 1/4 inch wide.
yeah,
And I know these were Porsche or Audi tools.
yeah.
I got to look the part number up. One of them was a bright, not really chrome, but a bright steel tool, and the other one was I think it's black, and that one kind of had like a convex to it. It was kind of weird, but I used that bright one. And I'm like, yeah, here I am. I said, I would talk to my brother. I said, listen, I said, see, I'm still using. I said, we're using a German tool on a Japanese car. I said, but at least we use, and he's got his initials. He had his initials scratched into him. So I was like, this is cool. I said, I got to tell Brian I'm using Porsche or Audi tools on a Toyota.
They had we used to have. It's funny to talk about that because I have, again, like I said, stuff that's been around forever and ever and ever, and of course I got these guys now that I sold something to them 20 years ago, and they lost it or they broke it, and they're like, hey, I need another one of these, and I'm like, sorry, dude, they don't make that anymore.
Right.
Or let me see if I can find somebody that has something sitting around, and like I said, just the other day I had a guy, he texted me Sunday afternoon, he's like, oh my God, he had a serpentine belt tool for Hondas, late early 2000-ish serpentine belt tool, and it was just a long rod. It had a little bend in it, and it had a flat 14 on one side and a 17 on the other side that was welded. I mean, it was kind of barbaric tool, but it was just that simple tool that he liked. And he's like, I can't find it to save my life. And he goes, can you get it? I was like, man, it's been obsolete for the last 10 years,
Yeah.
And I said, I told him, I said, well, let me look at my storage unit and see what I have. Well, I had one that's been sitting, and of course I went when I saw him on his day. He said, any luck? And I said, here you go. And he goes, man, I can't believe it, because I had everybody looking for it. Nobody. And I was like, dude, when I tell you, I said, I know you guys think we're just making shit up, but when I tell you that this stuff is, he goes, yeah, I was looking on eBay and guys wanted, $150 for a used one. And I said, it's they're gone, dude. When it's gone, it's gone. It's not
unless it's on eBay.
Yeah, well, like, so you're going to pay the price.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the other part of it. Yeah.
And you don't even know what you're getting half the time. I mean,
right.
You just, it's hard, like I said, getting. So, but I've had a lot of guys bring out 20-year-old stuff that, I'm like, dude, it just ain't around.
Right. So I see, that's right. I see Matco came out with another set of Hyperstep bits.
That's the new generation. Yep.
So it was Macco's. I saw Macco's YouTube channel. They put a video up, but I really didn't see clearly what the difference was in those and the older ones.
Well, it's the tip. The tip is slightly different, and it's you kind of caught me off guard. I don't have my cheat sheet. I don't know. I have to, but it's just the tip is slightly different.
That's what. Just send me a set for evaluation. I'll tell you what the difference is. So, and now, so tell me, is Clay right? Is this like one of the best lights ever?
Dude, I can't keep that. I can't keep it on the truck.
Okay.
And they've been on back order, and
Okay.
the biggest thing with that light is it's not honestly it's the price.
Right.
The
But
price.
they also said that it lasts. The battery lasts longer.
They put a bigger battery in it, and it lasts longer.
Compared it to what was the other brand? Was it a Streamlight? There was another one. It's like a direct. They're identical looking.
Yeah.
What was the other? Is the other one a Streamlight, or was it a?
No, it's.
Who was it? It was another brand.
I can't.
It was a popular brand in lights. Maybe an OLED. Was it not an OLED? What the fuck? OLED, maybe an OLED. But they said, that was like they said the same thing. It's like
they advertise. I think we advertised 10 hours, and on the package it says 12.
Right, and I think that's right because that was Michael that did that. Is actually his wife did, and she was saying, beside the battery, besides the brightness, she said it's warranted. So she says. Run it over, bring it back. We'll give you a new one. So when your guys stop buying them, throw it in a box.
Yeah, I have. I just actually. I have. I think I have. I was looking on an invoice, and I think I have. Yeah. I have 5. I have 5, 10. I have 15 coming. I got one of each color, I think.
You see, now that's something that Matco should have seen coming, and known like, okay, we got something here that's going to be big. We need a truckload of it.
Oh yeah, it's nothing against Matco. It's just that's how many we bought. I mean,
yeah.
I'm on my third batch. I'm on my third batch of them.
Yeah,
and like I said,
that's the thing they should foresee. I mean, if you're gonna extrapolate forward, like, hey,
that's supplier problem, dude. That's Ray, as much as anything. Of course, we're still alive, so I'm being very careful on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm backing Matco up on it. They order it's all supply issue. I mean, it's a supplier.
Well, hey, listen, there's a logjam somewhere, but yeah.
But when when you got to figure, I'm just a little guy, and when I'm ordering 20 or 30 of them at a time, there's guys in my district that are ordering 100 of them.
Really?
Yeah. So they have the money for that. I'm a little guy.
Well, order 21. I like blue.
Blue to match your eyes. Yeah.
I like blue. Yeah.
But I was really surprised because I will admit, at the very beginning when I saw that at Expo, I was like, "Fuck, another flight! Goddamn, another light!" And like I said, and I've had guys. Actually, I have one guy that was kind of funny. I said, "Hey man, we got this new light," and he goes, "Fuck you." he goes, "Dude, don't even show me another. I'm not buying anything." I said, "Dude, you can't beat this price, man. For the $59, it's got a bigger battery, it lasts longer." And he goes, "It's got, because I bought this one from somebody else. We won't mention the truck,